One day after
I wear 62 very well.
All right, we're starting with the first. We're gonna run our theme song, right?
Jose,
This is the song,
Freddie, you ask me
the
every
YouTube
week.
version.
We are Facebook Live right now.
Facebook Live, baby. And YouTube Live. We're just about to start the show on TuneIn and DDV Radio. Our theme song. How's it sound? Can everybody hear? I think so.
Oh, wait, you can see the
You can hear your headphones, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, plug it in. Hold on.
This is a new technique we're trying. Instead of using headphones, you hear right from here. I just need to hear the headphones just to make sure you sound
Clear, right.
I kind of want to move over a little bit more that way, Freddie, because of the mic. I just don't want this to kind of feed back.
Oh, well, I'll figure that out.
here.
You want me to move this hole on the other side?
No, here, I'll move it this way.
I can plenty of space. I can move right here.
All right, yeah.
He's in LA.
Actually, no. It's not here. It's like,
When I saw him,
I just keep this really good like this.
where was his son?
He did a lot of.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Another version of the Wiseguyz Show. That's right. Welcome to May, the month of May. I am Freddie the Fireman, your host here tonight on the Wiseguyz Show. Sitting next to me is the Source himself, Anthony Source. What's up, buddy? Sitting across from me is a fill-in tonight, but he is a part of the Wiseguyz Show. He's making his ways in there. Mike, the Mad Dog Jenkins, is in the house tonight. Mad Dog. Sitting next to Mike, everybody knows Jumpin' Gennaro, unless he's singing at your wedding or singing in Hoboken somewhere or even fixing a Ferrari. Mike Jumpin' Gennaro's in the house tonight. And in studio, we have both our studio guests. We are live on YouTube, by the way. You can see our in-studio guest, our first guest tonight. Frank Gigante's in the house tonight.
Frankie Gigante. Hoboken boy.
And sitting in the corner over there, former Major League Baseball player, baseball legend,
Billy
He's not even a legend in his own mind.
That's like a brain fart. That's what that's called. And now I know what that means. All right, but welcome everybody again. This is the Wiseguyz Show. We are on ddvradio.com, DDV Radio on TuneIn, Armed Forces Radio Network, Village Connection Radio Network, City World Radio Network, the Wiseguyz Show Facebook group page. You're seeing us live on our Facebook group page with the talent coordinator. Does a great job. Let's give her a round of applause. All right. Also check out the wiseguyzshow.com, Wiseguyz Show on Twitter, Wiseguyz Show on Instagram and YouTube. And we are live on YouTube, as you can see. Well, another week goes by and now we're in May. Has the months gone by or what? I was just shoveling snow.
Weeks.
Time's been flying.
I was just shoveling snow. Well, Frank
You're complaining
Gigante,
about that?
listen, Frank Gigante came all the way from Hoboken, right? And my Hoboken
Yes, sir.
guy over
Hoboken,
here.
New Jersey.
Did you grow up in Hoboken?
I was actually born in Italy.
Oh.
Grew up in Jersey City Heights.
Where in Italy?
Puglia, Mola di Bari. I lived there for 10 years.
You're my paisan.
Hey, we're paisans.
See?
See that? Holy cow.
And I came back to Hoboken.
Nice.
Actually on the same block I was born on, so that's
Wow,
pretty amazing.
wow.
Yeah,
What street was that?
We can't tell everybody.
I'll have to talk to you later.
All right.
Well,
But,
I just want everybody to know we've made 2 confirmations of future guests on our show. One from Rocky V. If most people remember Rocky V, she was Tommy Morrison's girlfriend in the movie. Delia Shepard's is going to be joining us in May.
July.
Also, who called to confirm while she was driving, Richard Grieco. is from 21 Jump
Wow.
Street, and Booker, he confirmed. So we got a lot of good stuff happening. I also want to special mention Bob Levy's show. Levy Live will be on very soon. He had to cancel this week's show, but and also Curtain Call with Steve Joyner. Steve Joyner is a friend of the show. Gets us a lot of guests and a big supporter. And one real quick, I want to mention a new sponsor, not a new sponsor, an old sponsor sponsored us again. And we want to do a special mention to his company, Home Security Consultant LLC. Go check him out at homesecurityconsultantllc.com. Sean Starry. He is the owner and the consultant. He will help you make your house safe. If you have questions for him to figure out the best way to do it, I know they announced a good smoke detector now with cameras and stuff, and a lot of good stuff. So check out Sean Starry at Home Security Consultant LLC. Call him up at 815-238-3005. Sean Starry at homesecurityconsultantllc.com. Check him out. And thank you, Sean, for sponsoring
Thanks for
our
supporting,
show.
Sean.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna need Sean after I almost gave up my street address. Some security. I'm joking.
But now, the moment is here for Frank Giganti to tell us more about this broken silence movement that's
We've been
happening.
hearing so much
Actually,
about.
it's
so much
Breaking
about.
the Silence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Breaking the Silence is the film.
Okay,
Broken Silence is the movement and the future film.
okay.
Before I get into the film, though, I want to compliment you guys on how much you made this radio show grow. I met Freddie a while back, I think in Little Italy it might have been, and we reconnected thanks to, is it Jumpin' Gennaro?
I like Mike the Mechanic. I always like Mike the Mechanic.
Thanks to Michael at the screening of the Brooklyn Banker, and it was just so nice to reconnect because he stood out as a person when I met him, and compliments to your show. And I have to be honest, the first time somebody told me, hey, did you ever hear the Wiseguyz show? I said, what? The Wiseguyz show? Yeah, Johnny Salami. I said, get out of here. I thought he was pulling my leg, and then it really existed.
Listen,
and it's a cool
there's
show.
been so many people that have been on the Wiseguyz show. Johnny Salami, Carl was here, John Cha-Cha, Vinny Pastore
Rest
was a
his
wise
soul,
guy
Cha-Cha,
from the
yeah.
original show. So was Cha-Cha. And Cha-Cha was my friend who I got to know for a long time in Little Italy. And he supported us all the way up until the day he passed. He was always a call-in. I didn't even I call up Cha-Cha or text him and say, Cha-Cha, would you like to call in tonight? No problem. And he's done it so many times to have Cha-Cha call in. Sitting next to him was a Tony Danza or a Danny DeVito, and they're sitting next to him while he's
That's
calling
awesome.
in the show, while they're hanging out eating. I mean, it was a great time, and I miss Cha-Cha, but
Yeah. God rest his soul. He actually has a picture holding my
Yes,
Broken Silence
that's
poster.
cool. I saw
A
that.
gentleman, a really nice guy. So,
tell us
talk
more.
a little bit about anti-bullying. May 11th at the Hoboken Historical Museum at 7:30 p.m. I will be showing my anti-bullying short docufiction, Breaking the Silence. It's more of an educational film, a parents must see. I'm honored to have the parents of the late Tyler Clementi in my film, and will be present at the event. My goal with my film, Breaking the Silence and Broken Silence, is to get kids to speak up. I hear the word suicide come up in anti-bullying circles a lot, and when I look and do my my research, I find that more and more teens are committing suicide.
Sorry.
Now,
What's happening?
I always say that when I was about 10, 12, I didn't even have a clue what the word suicide meant. Today, the youngest victim that I found in my research was a 10-year-old girl. So to think that a kid at 10 years old has the courage to take her life away, and why? Because of bullying situations. So my whole goal is break the silence. Tell someone, rather than self-harm, if you're going through someone, through something, sorry, to speak up about it. My inspiration came from a girl that was about 14 years old that committed suicide. I was having dinner with my family, and the news was on, and bullying, suicide, 14 years old, on account of some kids, blah, blah, blah. And when I turned around, I got a glimpse of this 14, 15-year-old girl, beautiful, and I said to myself in that instant, this girl's not here anymore because someone pushed a little too much. And in that very same moment, I got a vibe. And I say this because It was spiritual, supernatural, whatever you want to call it, but it was strong. Something went through me. I say it was almost like a communication, almost saying, hey, you can hear me, do something about it. So I turned around and I said to my wife, I said, I think I have to do something about bullying. And that's what started it all. The way I got the name of the title was that young girl's mother came out and she said, I wish I would have known what my daughter was going through, because had I known, maybe she'd be alive today.
Wow. Wow.
So today's world, you know, we're all busy. I include myself, running around, cell phones, technology, everything's moving so fast. I think we miss a lot of the little signals that kids give. That, you know, hey, how was your day? Oh, it was okay, just had a bad day. You sure you don't look at yeah? And there's things that build up in these students, in these kids, not only students. And, you know, of course, there's bullying in adults too, but we'll leave that for another show. So my whole goal with this project is, you know, get the kids to speak up, tell someone, whether it's a friend. You know, a lot of times they don't want to go to the parent. The parent's going to go to the school, you know, and I don't blame the schools at all, because there's really no solution to bullying. You know, if you really think about it, there's many methods to try and stop it, but there's nothing that in one shot could just stop it, unless we all start contributing as parents, as guardians, and getting a little more involved. And I say that because, you know, everyone's everyday life is busy. You know, I'm doing the laundry and you don't pay attention to what's going on, and the kid may be hurting inside. Now, I have a girl in my film that was bullied since first grade till about her
Is this
first
what
year.
inspired you to do this?
Well, not this girl.
Okay.
Yeah, the girl, I didn't know the girl. She was out of California. It was
Okay.
just that moment inspired me. But when I started doing the research to make this film, I met a dear friend. I was telling her that I'm going to do this, and she mentioned, you should talk to my daughter because she was bullied. Little did I know this girl was bullied for 8 years straight by the same girl.
Wow.
This girl used to eat lunch in the bathroom, walk around in circles in the playground. And, you know, my films are short, and every time she's there, which she will be at this screening, we have at least an hour and a half of Q&As because the topic, because it touches you. This girl ended up cutting herself, but she found the strength to speak up. And I think that's what we need to do, is get these kids more to speak up. Now, should I continue? I feel like I'm doing all the talking.
No, this is
got
good
us
time.
intrigued here.
I got you intrigued, all right.
This is,
so
yeah, no.
I'm
See, I used to, I grew up in the city of Newark, and Newark was a tough school
Sure.
system, and I grew up in grammar schools, and I was a bad kid. I'm not gonna lie. I was a neighborhood kid.
Bullies back then. We didn't have the word
No,
bully.
no, we didn't have bullies, but we had more of like people like me. Like I was like always sticking up for the bully.
Right.
And you know, it was not too many people would mess with me.
For the bully or for the
There was
bully
those who
victim?
could, no,
For
there
the
was
victim.
those I'd have problems with that I
Sure.
couldn't do nothing about. But
Right.
but I always was the kid who stuck up for the bully.
Right.
If I seen a bunch of kids jumping in a kid bullying him,
Right,
basically,
right.
I'd just step in and
That's why you would support the
The
person.
yeah,
victim,
always,
the victim,
always,
yeah, yeah.
always. And I'm
Not
telling
the
you, even
bully.
growing up in the streets as a teenager,
Sure.
I was the one who was always about an even fight. And see, my friends were crazy, you know, and we were neighborhood kids, you know,
Right,
and
right, right.
you know, we fought, you know, but the thing was, I didn't like fighting in like 10-on-1. I didn't like that. You fight if you're gonna fight. Back in the day, you fight 1-on-1. If
Right,
it's
right,
gonna
right,
happen,
yeah,
you get it over with 1-on-1. You didn't let somebody jump somebody.
What you experience in Hoboken too.
Oh yeah.
We
You
all
know, when I
went
went
through
to
it.
high school, yeah, it was you know, it was a 3,000 student school. But you know
Come
what
in,
the
come in.
difference is that today.
I'm sorry, live on DDV Radio, the Wiseguyz Show. The pizza man is getting paid. I'm
Pizza
paying
guy.
the bill. The
Oh,
pizza
yeah,
guy.
right.
The pizza guy. What do you got? 41. I don't know.
Even the pizza.
What's the name of the pizzeria?
Oh, Hill and Pizza?
You get some free advertising here.
No bullying the pizza guy.
Yeah. Hey, what do you want? Money?
I gotta give him Annette. You got here.
What?
Yeah, here, help him out. You got 2 5s?
I always.
Only on the Wiseguyz Show, in the middle of the segment, we're paying the pizza guy. We do this.
He probably has
just give him
change.
A couple singles, please. I didn't have no singles.
I have 2 singles.
That's
Yeah, I got him.
What happened?
I got him.
Yeah,
Give him a
that's
couple
all right.
singles. I don't want to give him a $20 tip, you know. But couple serious.
Now I can't
No,
get
no,
home.
They get $20 anyway.
We don't ask the guests to pay for tips over
It's
here.
like I'm delivering there all the time.
But
All right, man,
thank you so much.
I feel like part of the family now, you know, we all
Yeah.
contribute.
He did this last week. He did better off last week too.
Yeah, he probably waited till the show started. He knew what he was doing.
But yes. So go ahead.
No, what I was saying was that back then it happened with one kid, one bully, you know, maybe a few kids. But today's problem is social media, because you know you get attacked by three. Yeah, you get attacked by 300-400 kids, sometimes in the thousands. You go home and everybody's criticizing something you did or a picture or.
But the problem is, these days, everybody's got one of these.
Sure.
Everybody's got one of these. There's a video. It's disgusting.
Well, that's what it is, you know, and that's you know, a kid goes home, you don't know as a parent, they go on the computer and they're being attacked maybe because of something they wore, and they completely exclude you, and you know,
It's vicious. It gets vicious.
It's vicious.
Yeah, I see. We, you know, like I said, I literally remember my school always being. There was always the one kid that always used to get beat up all the time, and then another kid came, and another kid, and they used to gang up and just the kids took out their frustration on innocent kids. It was bad.
Yeah.
The biggest conflict is that realistically the schools, you know, they don't know how to handle it. This is all new. I mean, how do you handle most of this?
They're trying to.
I mean,
know.
it's going to take a world of education. I mean, right away. First of all, the other conflict is that somebody could be falsely accused.
Sure.
You know, and all of a sudden, you know, they're looked at and they're being bullied because of something that's not even true.
Right.
You know, and it's like they have to investigate it. They have to see. You know. It's very complicated.
Because now that they're taking it, the state of New Jersey is taking it very, very seriously.
Of course.
They do investigate, you know, both students if there's more than one involved, or.
And we go to court.
And you go to court.
My son was attacked in school,
Oh,
so
really?
I know what you're talking
The
about.
police in the school was not even heard of.
Yeah.
But it's like when we were our upbringing, we were taught to fight back, and usually if we were being bullied, it was just like two kids getting in trouble for being in a fight.
Right.
That term, I mean, there was the term bully, but there was never that term bullying. There was never like posters all over the school.
Right.
Bullying. I mean, do you think maybe society has made more of this than what it is bullying? We're teaching kids to speak up. We're not teaching them to fight back. And I'm not saying I don't condone fighting, but
you know what? It's hard because everyone's different. You know, you may have one personality, and I may be a little more sensitive.
Right.
So something may bounce off of you, but I may take that home, you know, and just bury myself in my thoughts, and knowing that I have to confront you again the next day, you know, again, you know, that fear, everyone's gonna laugh. Now I don't want to go to school. I mean,
there's definitely a lot more pressure, you know, in family lives, you know, beyond the school life, you know, in the family life, and you know, not maybe having both parents, and you know, financial struggle. There's so much.
Yeah, everyone has a story.
You know, and you know, and the parents are getting pressure, and you know, the family's getting pressure, and it's like from every angle. And a kid really should be nurtured and loved and guided, and you know, experience nothing but wonderful things. But the reality of it is that they're not. And if they're staying silent about it, and they're not connecting some way with other kids, you know, homophobics, and you know, oh, you're hanging around with that, you know, kid so much. What are you guys doing? I mean, it is in the society. You know, two kids, you know, when two kids were hanging out or fishing together all the time, or you know, did stuff all the time together. It was a norm. Now it's like criticism from every angle.
That's one of the groups that's most targeted is the LGBT community. So you know, there's a problem there too. Because,
but I'm just talking about in general.
Right.
You know, from other kids. Oh, you know, why are you together all the time? You know, why? You know, two very good friends right away are stereotyped as, you know, being gay or lesbians. You know, it's crazy.
See, I always got in fights as a kid, and my father told me, you know, that's it. Get into no more trouble, unless someone hits you, you know. I was like, yeah, all right. So I carried that on all the way to high school. And then we left high school and went to Belleville High. And I was late for class because I was new to the school. I didn't know nothing about it and everything. My first class I ever got to, I get into the class, I'm looking around, everybody's looking at me, I didn't know who anybody was. I go to sit down, I pull my books down and everything, and I turn my head and I just look at see who's next to me, and the kid's looking at me and goes, got a problem? I said, oh my God, I just got to. So, I mean, there's always something, I mean, kids in school have to, know who they're dealing with and not be afraid to to confront the fear. They have, yeah. We were always taught to fight, and if we didn't fight, you got to tell somebody if somebody's really going to hurt you, or a group of people are going to hurt you. You have to open.
Oh
your
yeah,
mouth.
if you defend yourself, that's different. You're defending yourself, and you're
nowadays-
pushed to the limit.
And nowadays you have to deal with the courts. You
Right.
hit somebody.
It automatically
Yeah,
becomes.
it's always goes.
Uh,
He wasn't bullying him. He hit him
I want to
first.
say something because Freddie reminded me of my freshman year in high school. So I went
Hoboken High?
Yeah, Hoboken High. At the time, 3,000 students.
Yeah, at the time.
And the Italians, maybe you could count on two hands in the school there. So I get there and I see, all these big kids, mean faces, and I'm like, man, let me find one of these big guys, become friends with them right away, So I see, you're gonna love this, Jimmy. I see this maybe 6 foot 6'5", 6 foot African American kid, but very well dressed with his bag. So I go next to him and say, "How you doing? I'm Frank. Pleasure." He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" First day of school, he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Wow, this guy's a freshman. He's big." I was all excited. Little did I know, 3 days later, he was getting bullied. So we were both looking for a new friend. But the way I
Should have called Billy. He had a bat.
no, you know what it was? My father always told me, if you come home with a black eye, I'll give you another one. So it was either, give someone black eye, make sure, but I wouldn't fight. When they'd come to fight, I said, listen, do you really want to do this? You're going to get your face screwed up, my face screwed up. I have no intentions to get any bruises. Let's walk away. But anyway, getting back to the bullying situation, I'll tell you how we actually got to Breaking the Silence. I was trying to make a feature film that I'd like to get on, if you guys remember those after school specials. And that would be called Broken the Silence. Again, inspired from the 14-year-old girl. We have a script that I was bringing forward. We did find an investor, and unfortunately, a little while after, he had some personal problems and didn't come through with the full amount. So we made a short documentary, just not to have nothing, and I'm using this now to hopefully make the bigger film. Based on what you were saying before, Mike, I'm telling everyone that can make it, even though the museum's not that huge, to come down, because you'll get some good pointers from the victims, from the activists, from the parents of Tyler Clemente that, had an unfortunate situation. They lost a son on account of bullying. So it's more of an interviewed kind of, you're not watching a fictional kind of film. It's more interviewed based, but it's very informative. And I'll also have a kid there that is being bullied right now out of, I think, Union City. And his father just pulled him out of school a week ago. He was at one of my other screenings, and it's terrible because the parents suffer too when kids are going through this
The
stuff.
family suffers.
Well, listen, is there any websites, any places you could send these people to, any information you want to
Yeah, I mean, breakingthesilencefilm.com, brokensilencemovement.com, then Frank Gigante on Facebook. There's a like page, and the rest of social media. I think it may be under Broken Silence, Instagram and Twitter, the same, more or less. But all the information, or just call Freddie.
Yeah, call
or
him.
Mike.
No,
The
but
rest of the
listen,
Wiseguyz.
what I want you to do is I want you to continue letting us know what's going on.
Sure.
You can post your videos or anything that
Definitely.
you do about this on our Facebook group page. When we see it there, we approve it, because we got to be careful nowadays what people put up. But when we see it, we approve it, and then we'll share it to people and get it out there. It's
Thank
a great
you.
cause, and I'm glad that someone actually did something about it.
I appreciate it.
Feel free to call anytime.
Yeah.
anytime.
You guys
Call
kicking me? Am I done? Like,
Yeah, you
I
got
just want to
one
plug a
minute,
few.
right? 1 minute.
We have. Cut it
We're
off.
good. We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So all right, we're
All right,
finishing.
can I, no, I just wanted to plug something. Also want to say thank you to my exec producer, Mike Sciarra, that stood by my side with this project from the very beginning. Everyone that took part of it, everyone that believed in it. And I got to give a quick plug to coochieCoo.com. Handmade ribbon bouquets, made at home. It's a little startup business that my wife is doing. I'm helping the marketing. So
Send me the info.
anyone having a communion, a wedding,
Yeah.
and I think I'm out of
One of
time.
those, right?
The movie is Breaking the Silence, and the movement is Broken Silence Movement. Frank Gigante, BrokenSilenceMovement.com. Check it out. Please, anybody who knows anything about bullying, contact him and email him. I'm sure all the information is on the website. Again, BrokenSilenceMovement.com. Frank Gigante, we want to thank you for coming into the studio, sharing the story with us. Wonderful story.
One last thing, Freddie. We're doing a GoFundMe for the Broken Silence movement and the big movie. I'll let you guys know. So hopefully I could get everyone's support.
Absolutely.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
Thank
All right.
you.
This is the Wiseguyz Show. We're going to be back with the Monkeys' Bobby Hart, and he's also a music legend, so we're going to talk a lot with him. This is the Wiseguyz Show on DDVRadio.com, DDV Radio on TuneIn, Armed Forces Radio Network, Village Connection Radio Network, and City World Radio Network. We'll be back after these messages.
Ciao.
Great.